think before you do things. We've always been aspiring to be rich. We all want to be rich. We all want to make money. Listen, I know that. I want to make money too. I want to be, in the best position as I can be. I want to be able to be in a position to travel anywhere in the world. I don't really want to see my parents work in endless hours anymore. I'm sick and tired of it, and I'll be honest with you. But I've realized one thing that will help both of us out. Rich people don't do 1,001 things to get rich. They focus on one or two important projects for decades, for years of their lives until they can scale it, and then it gets to a point where the business doesn't need them anymore. That's how rich people work. That's how they think. What X can I do every single day that would generate Y in the next X amount of time? That's how they think. You've probably tried a lot of things like I don't know what you've tried. You've probably tried coding. You realize coding is difficult, and then he started, I don't know, copywriting. You noticed that that was hard. You went to university. You studied law. You realized that was difficult. You know, you see someone doing, modeling, and you said, "Oh, you know what? Let me jump ships. I don't want to do law anymore." Dabbling and dabbling and dabbling, wasting precious time and effort on barely any returns, barely any result. What is the actual result of that? Don't get me wrong, at the start of your journey, it is very difficult, especially when you're young. If you're below 18 watching this, then you're very lucky. If you're obviously above 18, it's a lot more different. But you will realize, yeah, we had a lot more time. Like me and you watching this, we wish we probably started when we were way younger, 14, 15, 13 even. The more than 13-year-old is has this information that I'm already speaking about. They have a lot more time to experiment and dabble and dabble and dabble. But you get to a certain age, especially when you hit your 20s, and you're like, I can't keep dabbling anymore because you don't really have as much time to play with. So then what is the actual plan? What is the actual purpose? What are you thinking of? What can you actually put your mind in, focus, and say, for the next decade, then for the next 15 years of my life, I'm going to dedicate myself to doing this, you know. And it's very difficult. I'll tell you my story myself. I I've been studying engineering since college. I chose engineering primarily because I felt that was a great career that, once you come out of school, is a very good skill to have. And yes, engineering is good. It's great, fair enough. But I knew a lot of deep down, I knew a lot of my skill set was not honed within engineering. I was really good with numbers. I was a maths person, but mainly niche on numbers. So anything regarding like business or marketing or like, yeah, anything especially within that area, I should have probably developed. I should have probably learned, but I didn't. I didn't do that. I wanted to feel smart, act smart, studied the same engineering at university, civil engineering to be precise, a very difficult degree. And after I finished my degree, in the worst possible mental health, I then decided this route is not for me. I then came out of university. I started learning how to code. Well, prior to actually finishing uni, I started learning how to code. I started learning front end development, and I really enjoyed it. But the way my brain worked was, it is fun and it is great, but oh my god, let me try and see something that I can do so that I don't waste any more time. I was like, anything that would generate me money, that's all I'm on. I'm just gonna do freelance and try to copyright for people, just do minor admin work. I was just trying to dabble and dabble and dabble, and then came out of university. I was sick and fucking tired, and then I was like, no, this is not right. This is not right. Like, I was just not myself. My parents realized it as well. They were like, this is not my son. Like, there's something wrong with him. And I was not, and they were not wrong. Something was wrong with me. I was always lying to them, or just to protect their own mind as well, because they've got bills to pay. Like, they had to look after me as well. I was still a student. Like, I felt embarrassed. So, in my especially my first and second year, that they had to still pay for my rent, hard money, that they could have kept for themselves or looked after themselves or pay any extra expenses, but they actually looked after me, paid for expensive rents and shit. All for me to come from uni and then doing a job that I could have easily done when I was 17, 18. I could have easily got if I actually worked for it without a degree. You know, it's just stop dabbling, honestly. That's my advice for you. Follow what you do enjoy. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy marketing. I enjoy web development. I already know my niche. As literally, that's, what you do. When you do something that you actually love, you don't even look at the time. Sometimes I'll be there, I'll just be coding away, I'll be designing website and whatnot. I know that's probably very common nowadays, and that's why I want to improve my skill. But that's just an example. I'll design a website and I'm just there, I'm like, and then I'll just like, let me just look at the time. Well, what's the time of? Because obviously sometimes you got money or time. And then I'll be like, oh my god, I spent 4 hours doing this. I've spent 3 hours doing this. I'm not even looking at the time. Several missed calls on my phone. I don't even know who had called me. Before, when I would be doing a difficult task, like when I was in university, my phone would be next to me and my notifications are on. Every single 10 minutes, I'm looking at my phone, all because I was not even focused on the task itself. The key to finding what you actually want to do with your life is about finding what you love. Do what you love. A lot of people always try to discourage, especially young adults. Like, we are always trying to be like, I don't even know how to people always try to discourage us from doing what we love. You gotta do what you love, and that's what will pay off. Do what you love and find a way of monetizing it in the future. Don't just do it so that hopefully in a year's time I can make some mad money. You gotta love what you do, because when you love what you do, you become a master, you become an expert. And when you say you're an expert, you're not even really an expert, because it's always more to learn. But like, you've spent hours and hours, you know what you're doing, you know the insides and out, you're building and building. It's like an exponential growth. And then you can monetize off that. We are in the information age right now. A lot of people even want to know a lot of things that you can do. Find out what you're most passionate about and teach people, tell people about it. I also love fitness. I'm getting there little by little. I love fitness, and I'm preparing for you guys to see my fitness journey, in the future, see if I can actually start to compete and things like that. Take my diet a lot more thoroughly seriously. When I say thoroughly, like just carnivore diet, just meat. I love that. I obviously have most of the time recently, especially, I've not been eating quite good. I don't really know why. It's been I need to start planning my meals and things like that, and then obviously I'll carry you along within that journey as well. But for your own sake, especially if you're in your 20s right now, just find whatever you love, stick to it, build on it, and eventually monetize it. Money follows value, because once you're good at what you do, and there's a big gap in the market where, you know, a lot of people might be doing the same thing you're doing. For example, let's say if you're passionate about, advising people on mental health, there's a lot of things you can teach people. There's different target audiences, there's different type of mental health issues. There's different scientific research that have been done, that is there's still a lot of gap in knowledge that you personally know, and you can teach millions of people that have that same issue. That's just an example. You stick to learning, you, my friend, you're off to a big trajectory. If you're not passionate about what you study, I don't know if you went to university, I don't know your situation right now, but if you're doing what you hate right now, and you know for sure that that's making you miserable and confused, it's like, if you know deep down you're wasting time, energy, and effort on whatever you're doing, don't try to cope. This is the situation our parents went through. Like, if you've come from a low working class background like me, where you have to cope just because of the sake of getting a job, don't do that. That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry to use that word. No offense to my parents, no offense to anyone else either. But we are in the information age, and I've realized that you need to be wiser now. We are supposedly should like wiser. We are supposedly wiser than our parents, wiser than the previous generation. So we go do things better. Do things that you love. Stop worrying about money, and actually worry about how much value you can create and spread to the world. And that's when people start chucking money at your face. Focus on building value, then build an audience, and then grow from there. Thank you so much for listening. Watch all my videos, man. I'm trying to grow this channel, I'm trying to teach people like you a lot more. Share it with your family, your friends. That will help a lot. Mwah.